We got a whole lot of trade news to break down. Let's start semi-chronologically. Let's start with the Jimmy Butler news. Brian Windhorst jumped on with Scott Van Pelt late last night after the Suns' big win over the Clippers and had this to say about the Bradley Beal situation.
Discussions with the league, and I want to be real careful. I am not saying this is for sure going to happen. I am not predicting what's going to happen. But I do think some teams that thought they were out of this are coming back in because it doesn't look like the Suns and Heat are going to be able to consummate a deal. I think we might see a team swoop in here and get Jimmy Butler at a cheap price, a guy who can be the best player in a playoff series at a bargain price. And I think that's the phase of this where we're at. And so if a team pulls that off, and I'm not going to tell you the teams that are trying because I can't wade into those waters. This could be a trade that affects the outcome of this season. So definitely a very interesting next 2, 3, 4 days here.
Ooh, is it dead, Gerald? Is it over? Phoenix Suns, Jimmy Butler, what could have been but never will be?
It could be, but it also could just be the continued posturing that we see throughout this process. It's a game. It's a game.
So sick of
There's
this,
so
dude.
many conflicting agendas. There's so many things that are being leaked to make this situation worse, to try and give one side leverage in negotiations and where they want to go, etc. So at this point, you just kind of have to strap in and wait to see where Jimmy Butler lands up. I wouldn't say it's dead, considering there's still more than a week left before the NBA trade deadline. There's still a lot of time for things to change and then change back and then change a third time. So I think that's kind of just what we're going through here. But if the Heat are legitimately easing up their level of requirement in terms of what they want back in a Jimmy Butler trade, that does open the door for other teams to potentially swoop in while the Suns are trying to scramble and organize this multi-team trade.
That's exactly what it is. It's a lot of leverage playing. So for Eric and others that are reacting to every bit of news that comes our way, I apologize for your emotional capacities in these trying times.
I apologize for your emotional capacities might be the meanest thing anybody's ever said.
In these
That's
trying times, I really do. But you got to listen to
Sorry,
people
you're a
like
little
Gerald.
P-word. That's basically what you're saying to me.
You
Oh,
gotta
you're so
listen.
sensitive, Eric.
You got to listen to the people that are trying to look out for your well-being in these very trying times. We have people that lose sleep over stuff like this so that you don't have to exhaust your emotions.
Stephen said in this economy, you need to stop being so emotional.
See, there are other things that I need to worry
I'm
about.
just saying that there's a lot of posturing going on. They're doing it in broad daylight in front of our faces every single day via multiple different means of outlets that that cover the league. So you just gotta sit back and be patient. I know it's hard. I've witnessed how hard
why
it is.
am I getting lectured in all of this?
Because Eric is a microcosm for a lot of Suns fans. And the things we see on our timeline.
Dude is just reading me in front of hundreds of people.
That's crazy.
It's just dissecting me piece by piece. That's crazy.
I just want everybody to be great, and I don't want people being emotionally spent
There's
over a
feeling
basketball
seen,
team.
Dude,
and then there's being exposed.
This is Jared. Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Gerald, basically what he's doing, he's staring at me and he's saying, Eric, your emotions are getting in the way of your job, your personal life, your responsibilities.
Yeah.
I'm worried about you as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But
You're
damn,
welcome.
man. Damn.
The concern is
welcome.
genuine, which I think makes it that much. Like,
I hope
twisting the
you
knife.
know that I'm not losing any sleep over Jimmy Butler.
No. I
just-
know you're not losing sleep, but
Then why are you talking to me?
I'm talking about the responses to every bit of news that comes out.
No, I know. It's tough because I feel like with especially everything, and let's unfold the De'Aaron Fox part of it all, because of course that hit the NBA world today about De'Aaron Fox now being willing and wanting to be traded and having a team that he's focused on. There are reports conflicting about what team it is, but right after we get, we don't know if this deal is going to be able to be facilitated. Well, now a big player in one of the teams that Gerald included in his article and the show that we did that could facilitate this trade, Sacramento, has a big chunk of contract and a good player who now wants to be moved. So as much as we might think, or I might think in the moment last night it was dead, De'Aaron Fox might open it up a little bit more.
It could. It feels like something that might be tangentially related or something that's just not related at all, to be honest with you, because if you look at the reporting that's coming out, all of it's linking De'Aaron Fox to wanting to go to San Antonio. That doesn't mean he'll necessarily work his way there before the trade deadline or even at all.
Well, who's his agent again?
His agent is Rich Paul, and Rich Paul does get what he wants
Yeah,
a lot of the
very
time, or more accurately, gets what his client wants.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something to consider there. And like I think somebody said, he also built a home in Houston recently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets are another team that could put together a deal. I don't know how you loop in Jimmy Butler and the Suns or Zach LaVine and the Suns into that type of structure there. It's not impossible, but it is difficult. But yeah, we did a couple weeks ago. We put together a Jimmy Butler trade that involved De'Aaron Fox going to the Heat in like a 5-team deal. And I thought it was crazy at the time because the Kings were winning and it felt like they had gotten their season back on track and this wasn't going to be an issue for them. But like we said at the time, things could change very rapidly. So we're kind of seeing that right now. And maybe it does open the door if the Suns can find a way to loop themselves in or loop the De'Aaron Fox, Kings, Spurs, Rockets, whoever the hell trade into it.
Gerald, that was, I believe, a week ago.
It was only a week ago.
7 days ago.
Yeah.
The longest 7 days of our life. Just a refresher. This is the 5-team trade that Gerald cooked up. The Suns getting Jimmy Butler, Torrey Craig. The Heat getting De'Aaron Fox and Trey Lyles. The Magic getting Bradley Beal and a second-round pick. The Bulls getting KCP, Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, a second-round pick and a first-round pick. And the Kings getting Zach LaVine and 2 first-round picks. So that was a trade that Gerald cooked up. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more talk about De'Aaron Fox.